What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 100th episode of the Forbidden Land podcast. This is super exciting. And it's the end of the year episode. I did not plan this when I started this year. I did not plan to be like, I'm going to make extra episodes this year so I finish at 100. In reality, I just yap a lot. And so I ended up making extra episodes throughout the year that didn't fit the normal schedule. But we did it. Actually, technically, we've made more than 100 episodes. We've made this should be like episode 105, but Forbidden FM doesn't count. So we did it. We made it to episode 100. We made it to the end of 2024. And yeah, we're gonna, go through stuff that we want to do into the new year. We're gonna go over if we accomplished anything from last year's goals, and then I have some just general stuff to talk about, like shows and movies I watched this year, music that I listened to this year, and then like stories that are happening at the moment, and a really fun dilemma that I want to talk about that I've already worked out with other people that I think is funny. So let's go over what our goals were last year. I screen grabbed the exact moment during last year's episode where I wrote down my goals. In fact, I probably saved them. Did I? I probably did. Yeah. 2024 podcast goals. So here, we can just look at them directly without using the YouTube link. So let's see if we accomplished any of these goals. We did not get a new logo, so we can scratch that one. Do the podcast outside or in a public space. We did not do that one. Make more clips? Absolutely not. This one's such a stupid goal. I don't understand why I wanted to emphasize making more clips of the podcast, but the clips that I did make weren't doing well to promote the podcast, so instead they just kind of stirred up a giant argument in the comments section, so they weren't viable. More guests. I did indeed get more guests this year. I did have John on again, twice actually, right? I think twice. And I also had Livy on, and I had Wesley on. And then for the Halloween episode, I had Wesley, my mom, Wesley's wife Megan, and my girlfriend on. Which I'm glad I got my girlfriend on the podcast for once. So we did get more guests. We did do live episodes. Forbidden FM launched this year, and we've had a pretty successful run with Forbidden FM. We made 5 episodes this year. So we had the first episode, which was like a pilot. We had the primary election episode. I think before that we had just like a general live episode, maybe. I don't remember. Let me look at my list. I know that we've had a few episodes of Forbidden FM. There might be 6 episodes actually. So we had... Yeah, there are 6 episodes. We had the pilot, we had the test, we had the primary election special, we had a random one in May, because John was supposed to be on the one in May, and he ended up getting called into work. We had the Halloween special, which was the 5th episode, and the presidential election episode, which is the 6th one. So we had 6 live episodes this year. I would call that a dub, in my opinion. More political-centric episodes. Almost every episode this year has been a political episode. And I know that because I tag them on Patreon now. So if you want to look on Patreon and sort it by what episodes have politics in them, you can. Whether you need to avoid those episodes or you want to listen to them, you can do that. There are politics-specific episodes now. Politics. yeah, I've marked a fair few of these episodes with the politics marker. Pretty much all of these are about politics. And I would even make like special episodes in the middle of the week to talk about politics. There's even a bonus episode in the politics section, which this episode never made the light of day. It was only on Patreon. Hello, welcome to the Forbidden Land. Now his administration keeps letting him open his mouth. The reason this was a Patreon only is because I felt like garbage, and I even put in the description I was not in the greatest headspace during this. So that would be why that episode did not go public. But you can sort it by politics. Most of the episodes this year were politics related. So I would say we accomplished that goal. Plug the Patreon and Discord more. So I stopped plugging the Discord. But I do plug the Patreon. I now say the Patreon every end of the episode. I cut in like a Patreon promo video at the end of in the middle of every episode pretty much. Let me see if I can find the Patreon bumper. Yeah, this video plays in pretty much every
What's up, guys?
now.
Did you know we have a Patreon channel?
Which is funny that I made this plug like 3 months ago. Because like that, obviously I don't look like that anymore. I cut all my hair off. So it's just a little funny, like I got that haircut right after I recorded this. But yeah, I play that now between pretty much every episode. So I would say we definitely accomplished the goal of plugging the Patreon more often. Especially now that there's bonus content on there. I didn't feel comfortable plugging it before, but now that there's bonus episodes on there, I feel more comfortable doing that. So I would say the last one, not saying and a lot, I would say I semi-accomplished that goal. I still do it occasionally. Like, I've done it a few times already this episode, but I don't do it as often as I used to. I really don't. I really don't do it as often as I used to. So, we've done the bottom 5 goals. We have not done the top 3. So I will be carrying at least these 2 into the new goal list. So for some new goals, I already have some written down. I want to do more Forbidden FM episodes. That's a given. I do enjoy doing the live episodes. I would like to do more guest episodes. So my plan was to bring John back on again, to bring back on Wesley, and probably bring on Livy as well, because Livy was an interesting conversation to have. And yeah, I don't know what else to really add on to that part. I mean, those are like the 2 biggest ones for me, are more live episodes, more guest episodes. I want to do remote episodes where, you know, I wrote it on the list where I do episodes outside of the podcast room, if you want to call this that, and do them like in public or at like a park or something. And now that I have this, that is now possible. I now have a MacBook Pro. So that will now be possible for me to do. So if I work up the courage and the lack of dignity enough, then I will do an outdoors episode. Or like an episode in another space, like a library or something. Maybe not a library. Maybe like a coffee shop or something. Who knows? But like parks and whatnot, do them there, you know? Or like do them in a hotel room, or do an episode at my mom's house, like I attempted this year, actually. So that's one thing I haven't talked about a lot, is that I did attempt to do an episode at my mom's house. I have the raw files. I do. The only problem with the episode is I don't have the recording from the voice. So here it is. This is a little snippet of the episode from my mom's house. And I just simply don't have the mic audio from this laptop. I also don't have a second camera for my sister, who's also in this episode. So it's a little jank. I need to work on it. I need to bring the right equipment next time, because I came super underprepared and it never worked out, and I had to record a new episode for that week. But this would have come out in like March, and obviously it didn't. So I want to do more fun episodes. I want to do episodes where like I get funny stuff to talk about, because I don't want every episode now to just be like doom and gloom politics, even though that's kind of what this episode will turn into. I do have I do indeed have a lot of political stuff on this one, so that's why I'm padding the beginning with fun stuff. But yeah, my plan is to do more fun episodes. All right, my next goal. Sorry, there's some like honey controversy I'm reading about. The extension honey, I guess they're embroiled in some kind of controversy, which they should be. Honey barely ever works for me. Give myself more breaks throughout the year. So this is an interesting one. I've decided that it is unhealthy for me to attempt to keep up with the podcast weekly, especially now that I have a full-time job. It is not good for me to stress myself out and make an episode every single week. I know I went from like 2 episodes sometimes a week, guaranteed weekly, but sometimes I would upload 2 episodes. I know I'm going from that to now saying I want to take weeks off, but I feel like it only makes sense. So guys, in the month of June, I'm going to be donating all the revenue to gay pride organizations, and then I'm not going to make a single episode in June. That's a Dream reference. If you were around during that. But I think what I might do is like pick a couple weeks throughout the year where I just won't make an episode unless I really want to. But it would be like a week where I decide beforehand, like, hey guys, I'm not going to be uploading an episode this week, but I'll be back the week after, or something like that. So I'm going to give myself more breaks throughout the year. Oh, and so this one's an interesting one. This one's not a goal. This is a point I wanted to hit. I have talked about on this podcast multiple times that I've teased like, oh, I might be in a different space this time next year. Yada, yada, yada. I always talk about it. And then like behind the scenes, it never works. And then I end up staying here longer than I thought. And, you know, the scenery never changes. It's still the same old like crazy ass looking depression room that it's always looked like. But so this time it's true. This time it's real because it's not my choice. By this time next year, I mean, it'll happen sooner than that, but next year's end of the year episode will not be taking place in this room. And I can guarantee that. I will not be in this room as early as March. Maybe even sooner than that. This was not my decision. It is the decision of one man. And there's some deeper stuff I could go into later, but I won't here. But as a result, I will be not in this home anymore, which is fine. I'm an adult, you know. Eventually I was going to have to leave, but did not expect it to happen under these circumstances. So, yeah. I will simply leave it at as early as February next year, 2025. The background will not look the same. In fact, over time, you will slowly see stuff in the background start disappearing, or stuff on the walls disappearing, or boxes behind me, like that box right there. It's no coincidence that that box showed up earlier this year. I knew this was coming. I knew I had a clock on it, but for the sake of the background of these episodes, I kept it the same. I didn't really pack anything. But soon, the background will be different. And I'll go into more detail about it way later. Like later. Much later. But for now, that is the current situation. Let's see. All right. Happier note. Let's talk about some shows and movies I watched this year. I was trying to think, because I haven't watched much this year. Every year I watch less and less. Because I just don't really care about movies and shows that much. Like, I'll get to them when I get to them, which is weird that I am like that, because I'm such a weird film nerd. You would think I would watch more movies. This year, and some of these movies are rewatches just because I hadn't seen them in forever. This year I watched Deadpool and Wolverine. That movie was fine. I gave it a 7 out of 10, I think. It's okay. The Deadpool humor I've noticed as I get older doesn't really land with me the same way that it used to. Okay, this thing needs to stop moving. It doesn't land with me the same way that it used to. Deadpool humor it's very childish, I guess you could say. Very childish. And it's very I don't know. I don't want to sound mean. Like, I liked Deadpool and Wolverine mostly because I liked seeing Wolverine again. But gosh, it's just Deadpool's humor is so hammer it into your head until you get it kind of humor. And a lot of people do enjoy that. I just don't think I do enjoy that very much, which is fine. That's, subjective. But as a result, I was like, okay, this movie's fine. It's good. It's a good send-off for Wolverine again. It didn't really tarnish the legacy of Logan, I think. But I can't get on board with that style of humor, and it seems that it's been toned down a little bit for the sake of it being a Disney branded movie. But yeah, I don't know. I couldn't really get into it too much. What is going on with my hair? I had a very specific look, and now it's gone. There we go. I don't know. I just didn't like it too much. I didn't like Deadpool 2 very much either. I liked the first Deadpool a bit. But I don't know. I struggle to watch those movies a little bit. But Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't bad by any means. It was good. I liked Cassandra Nova. I just wish she had more to do in the movie. If she had more to do, then I would have been more on board. I think who's the guy from the TVA? I just had his name on the tip of my tongue. He should have also been given more of a presence in this movie. I've never been the biggest fan of cast the heroes into an unknown place so the villain can toil behind the scenes, and you only watch the heroes go through a journey of trying to beat the villain, but you never really see the villain doing anything that often. I've never been a big fan of that kind of movie. Another movie I saw this year was Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah, I gave that a 9.5 out of 10. That movie is awesome. I love Howl's Moving Castle. God, what a story. I love that story. I also picked up on something. I'm a fan of a show called The Newsroom. And as soon as I heard Sophie talk, because we watched the English dub, the Studio Ghibli English dubs are awesome. As soon as I heard Sophie talk, I went, I recognize that voice. It's such a distinct British voice. And I was like, I wonder, that isn't who I think it is, right? And I didn't even pick up on Hal being Christian Bale, by the way. That's how oblivious I was to that casting. But Sophie being the actress from The Newsroom, I was like, that has to be her. And I looked it up, and it was. I clocked that so quick. She has such a way of speaking. She has such a unique voice and unique way of talking that you immediately pick up on it. Which isn't a bad thing, by the way. It's just funny that like I recognized it so quickly. But can't even clean up my garbage. It's a piece of wrapping paper. But yeah, I love Howl's Moving Castle. It's probably one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. That and Spirited Away are my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. I also rewatched Spirited Away. Like a few days before that, but I didn't include it on here. I've seen Spirited Away. I saw it in theaters when they re-released it in 2019. I didn't really remember much, so we decided to rewatch it. I still like it. I actually might like Howl's Moving Castle more, if I'm being honest. I just love the story, and I love the dynamics and everything. It's great. I love the little kid's disguise. It's just so funny looking. I saw The Nun 2. It was okay. It was average. I'm almost certain The Nun is played by the daughter of the woman who plays Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring movies, which I thought was cool. Because they look the same. Like, they literally look the same. She just looks like a younger version of her mom, which I know sounds stupid, like it's her daughter, but like, I mean, it's literally like clone, dude. It's a clone. They look so similar. The Nun 2 was fine. I feel like it was very typical horror movie. However, this one had like weird superhero movie type elements in it, where they're like this ultimate MacGuffin, and they're like boom, and the big nun is like ah, and I just kept thinking throughout the movie. And then this nun goes and haunts a random British family. The nun who terrorizes all of these churches throughout Europe in the 50s and is like killing priests. Then decides, I'm going to go target this random British family in Britain. Oh, the Warrens showed up? What a coincidence. Oh, wow. I guess I get to kill the Warrens now. It's just like, what a step down, you know? What a step down. That's the thing that the Nun movies suffer from, is being a prequel. And also, I gave this a 6.5 out of 10. If you watch The Conjuring 2 before you watch The Nun 1 and 2, then like they scale up. But if you watch The Nun 1 and 2 as like a prequel, and then you go and watch The Conjuring 2, then you really do question, why is the nun doing like side jobs? And then they're defeated so easily by two random Americans. Yet it took like the entire congregation of the European like League of Churches to fend this thing off, and they still didn't kill it. Like, what is happening? I just thought that was an interesting detail. It did kind of kill the movie for me, because I had already seen The Conjuring 2 well before the Nun 2 ever came out. So, speaking of The Conjuring, I rewatched The Conjuring 3. I watched it 2 years ago, and I decided to rewatch it again. Still pretty good. You know, I've been to the places that it was filmed at, and so that was neat. I've been to Starr's Mill, which is where that red barn comes from in the movie. And then I've been to Sonoya, Georgia before. So I've seen the house that the original demonic possession takes place in. I also know that the hospital that these kids recently got arrested at in like Southwest Metro Atlanta is the same hospital in the movie. So it's interesting. It's an interesting thing to know when you're watching the movie, because you recognize it immediately, the set pieces and the locations. But I like The Conjuring 3 still. I gave it an 8. I like it more than The Conjuring 1 and 2, honestly. I think it has like a more modern feel to it, which is weird because it's not that much newer than The Conjuring 1 and 2, but there's a big enough gap there where you can tell the director was like, I just threw like 15 more movies on my belt, time to make The Conjuring 3. And I think they're making The Conjuring 4 now, which I'm happy to see that. One detail I was creeped out by was afterwards we looked up the case, and the age gap between the kid that's possessed and the girl that is like with him in the movie, they're pretty much the same age. In real life, he's a full-grown adult and she's like a teenage girl, like not like 17, like she's like 14 or 15 from what I remember reading. It's freaky, dude. Here, let me look this up. Yeah, Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. The the kid is like Arnie and his partner. Hours. Yeah, that's the other thing. This movie is also very like in the first two, Lorraine Warren is still alive in real life, so you can tell they really spin up the idea of like, you know, they really spin up like the idea of this supernatural couple. Being like, oh, you know, this supernatural couple, they have like powers and they can solve ghost cases and whatnot. But then the third one, like the Warrens are both dead at this point, and they like straight up just are like, yeah, you guys are full of shit. And I think they're trying to play up like the more well-known they become, the more skeptical people are. Because they straight up are like making fun of Lorraine during this movie. And even the judge is kind of like, okay, in the trial. And then like at the end of the movie, they're like straight up like, yeah, Arnie got convicted. They're like, he got convicted. Nobody was going to buy that demonic possession bullshit. And I think that's really funny. But I can't find the age thing. I forgot where we read it at. He was 19 at his time of being arrested for murder. But how old was the partner? I read where the partner was way younger. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to find it now. This is derailing me because I'm like, where did I read this? I'm just key searching 19. Oh no. I don't know where I read that information, so I guess don't take my word for it. Oh, the Debbie girl that's represented in the movie, his fiance, died right before the movie came out. That's really sad. Yeah, he only served 5 years in prison, by the way. And then he got out and he married her. How crazy is that? But yeah, this movie's the best one out of the three, I think. I'm pretty sure that's an unpopular opinion, too. I think a lot of people... a lot of people didn't like it very much, which is weird. I guess I'll just have to look up her name. How old was she when they were, when they knew each other? It's crazy that Arnie is still alive. I will say that. Oh, it was the other way around? No way, was it the other way around? Oh, no, it was the other way around. Oh my god. I was wrong about the ages. I had them flipped. I mean, it's still bad, but damn, I forgot about this. Arnie was 12 years old and Debbie was 19 when they first met. Oh my god. Their first official date was when he was 16 and she was 23. Oh no. Oh no. That's so gross. Wait, how did they even manage to convict him of anything? Bro's been groomed for like his whole life. You would think they would have gone with that angle. Ew, dude. That's so disgusting. So originally, like, if the roles were reversed, I would have still done the thing because I didn't know the age gap was that extreme. I forgot that they met when one person was only 12 and the other was only the other one was 19. Not only, the other one was 19. Dude, I'm 22 right now. You think I'd be looking at a 16-year-old? Even an 18-year-old grosses me out. Anyone under 20 grosses me out at this age. Oh my gosh, dude. He was 12. That's so gross. Oh no. Okay, moving on. Let me move on to the other movies I watched. Oh, okay. That's disgusting. I will say, when I found that out, it did kind of bump the movie down a little bit for me because I just kept thinking, like, why would they not disclose that? If I was the writer and I found out that one of the parties involved was groomed from the age of 12 all the way to 16 and then was basically courted by this full-grown adult, if I had found that out, I would have been like, we're picking a different story. Like, we have to pick another high-profile story. Like, I know that this one's pivotal in their journey, but oh my god, it's either that or we represent it to its fullest extent and make him a teenager in the movie. That's so disgusting.
What's up, guys? Did you know we have a Patreon channel? If you want to go over to patreon.com/forbiddenlandpod, you can support this podcast. For $1 a month, you can simply just send me $1. For $3 a month, not only are you sending me $3 for support, you also get your own Discord channel and your own role on the Discord. And if you send me $10 a month, with a 7-day free trial included in that, you get all of my bonus content, including your own feed that includes these episodes and the bonus episodes. So if you want to hear my thoughts that I don't usually say on the public episodes, including a more just chill kind of episode in general, you can pay $10 a month and get those episodes. There's also a $15 tier with a 7-day free trial that is just sending me an extra $5 if you're feeling like you want to send me an extra $5. It's the same as the $10 tier. And there's a $100 tier. That's the same thing. If you want to send me $100 to support the project, go for it. It has the same benefits of the other tiers. So go on over to patreon.com/forbiddenlandpod and get some bonus content or a Discord channel or both. Back to the episode.
Another movie that I watched was The Strangers, which was interesting. It's another horror movie. It's just this couple. It starts off pretty good. It's like this couple that he like proposed to her at dinner, and they I guess she said no, and now they're like basically upset with each other at home. Like it starts off kind of slow, and then it's just these masked people like breaking into their home and just fucking with them for like an hour and a half. It's pretty brutal. Here's the poster. It has Liv Tyler in it. It also has the guy from Always Sunny in it as well. Here you go. Inspired by true events. I fucking doubt it. They made a second one. It's not as good. The second one also stars an actress that I recognized her from House. She's like a little girl patient in one of the episodes. The episode where like she's having hormonal problems. That's where I recognized her from in the second one. But the second one's not nearly as good as the first one. The second one's kind of lame. But the first one's pretty good. It has Liv Tyler in it, which kind of dates it. Because I don't think I've seen Liv Tyler in anything in like years. Like personally. But it's pretty good. I mean, it's obviously creepy. Look at him. But yeah, that's The Strangers. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10. It's pretty good. I also rewatched all the Harry Potter movies, but I already ranked those in the Star Wars tier list episode a few weeks ago. Shows I watched The Acolyte. I already reviewed The Acolyte. I gave The Acolyte a pretty good score. I stand by it. I stand by my criticisms of The Acolyte. That I think 2 episodes were wasted when they could have been consolidated into one. Another 2 episodes would have worked if they were just smashed into one. There's a lot of that in that series where they draw out story beats in a show that's not that long. Episodes that should be just one episode are split into 2. Not a fan of it because it just wasted a lot of key time that we could have used to flesh out the story. But anyway, I already reviewed it. It has its own standalone episode with my review, so you can go watch that if you want to see that. I also watched The Bad Batch Season 3. I liked that way more than Season 2. And I enjoyed the way that it ended as well. I watched The Boys Season 4. Pretty decent season. I think there were definitely some elements that were missing that were present in the first 3 seasons, but I liked it nonetheless. I think a lot of the people saying that it's woke now miss the point of the first 3 seasons, and I think those people should shove one up their ass and eat my ass as well. I'm so sick of the people that don't watch things and just cry all day about shit being woke. Fuck off, please. Like, can we just enjoy our shit? They're the reason why The Acolyte was ruined for me a little bit. Because they just kept going on Twitter every episode and being like, oh my god, black people, oh! Shut up, man. Like, come on. Let us enjoy something. And I'm glad it kind of woke people up to the people that are like that online. The crybabies that are constantly shitting and pissing about, oh my god, why isn't it an all-white male cast, and why aren't they doing white savior bullshit, which, like, they're about to get that movie, that A24 Invasion of Iraq movie that they're making. Don't worry, guys, you'll get your schlop. You know, you'll get it soon. Your little white savior movie that's going to have the obligatory "we saved a village of women and children from the big evil terrorist men." You're going to get your whitewashing white savior movie soon. Calm down. The Boys Season 4 was fine. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first 3 seasons, but it was still good. I also rewatched Ghost Stories, the English dub. I think I got a little over halfway into the season or into the show, and then we just kind of stopped watching it because we had binged most of it at that point. But it's still funny. I got to reveal to my girlfriend the story behind it. She didn't know that wasn't the real script. I told her the story behind it, and she was like blown away that the English dub is the official English dub. It's not just memes, and that the script was created in a way because the Japanese version of it failed, and they basically were like, "Fuck it, as long as you keep the names and the general story beats, you can do whatever you want." And that's what that show became. She was blown away by that. The touch me harder. We quote that a lot. It's pretty funny. But it's a funny anime. You should watch it. It's on Netflix. Watch the English dub, please. Don't watch the sub only. It's gonna be boring. It's only good with the English dub. So that's the stuff I've watched this year. Music I've listened to. I have a wide variety of it. Let me pull up my seasonal playlists because I do that. Let's see. Damn, I really didn't start the winter one for 2023 until the next year. It looks like it's a little sad, but some stuff I listened to this year. Heart in the Pipes is a good one that I found this year when we were playing GTA 5. It's one of the songs that comes on the radio. I'm just going to look at my top songs. Opening Titles by Palms is back on here, which is funny, but Heart in the Pipes by Tony Castles and Kauf. It's a remix. That one's pretty good. Great Massive Color by Deaf Heaven. I've been listening to Sleep Token a lot this year. Dream Steppin' by Two People is a really good one. That one came out in 2020. I've been listening to a lot of Northlane this year. After Image was on my top songs. I really like After Image. I really like Dante. What was some other ones that I liked from Northlane? I like a lot of their old stuff now too, like Abomination. Yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying a lot of Northlane this year. Blood Orange is pretty new for me. I had listened to some Blood Orange before this year, but I've been listening to like Charcoal Baby or what was that other? Oh, Jesus Freaks. I like that one. Champagne Coast, I think is what it's called. But that one's like a popular one on TikTok now. There's a Tame Impala remix that he made that was really good. And I like that one a lot. But I've been enjoying my fair share of Blood Orange this year. Silent Planet is a good one. We went and saw them in concert, actually. So that was fun. I think Invent Animate was at that concert, too. Did I just get a notification? I think Invent Animate was at that concert, too. Washed Out, I've been getting... I've been into Washed Out before. You and I is like one of my favorite songs by Washed Out, which it seems to be a pretty underrated song in their full discography. Yeah, it's pretty low on the list of popular songs from them. But I've been enjoying like some of their other stuff. Like I've listened to Amor Fati, which I didn't listen to before this year. Feel It All Around, Too Late, All I Know. That's another good one. I think they just played a show in Atlanta, and I didn't know that they were coming to Atlanta, so I'm sad that I missed that. Let's see, there's some new Deftones stuff I've been listening to this year. I've been listening to Cade Parker. Cade Parker is this... I'm not going to gatekeep this one because I think he deserves to be listened to. Cade Parker is an artist that only has about 10,000 listeners a month. And he makes some good music. I wonder if I could play one like right now. I wonder if I could play one without getting copyright claimed. I might just say fuck it and play it. One that I've been listening to is Plastic Dog. Sorry, it's called 111123 Plastic Dog.
Don't let's get you slipping with banana clips. Let them bananas rip. Let's do it, but they come.
I probably should have turned that down beforehand, but it's pretty good. It's the Banana Boat song for me. That's what we always refer it to. I refer to it as. It's sampled from a song on SoundCloud. There's also Rebar Ribcage. If Spotify. Yeah, there we go. He's just making some good stuff. Yeah, he's making some good stuff, and this album went very unnoticed. The most listens on Rebar Ribcage is 139,000, and then 114,000 on Sterile. Everything else has under 20K, and that's a crime because these are some good songs. I've also been listening to some Johnny Booth. I've been listening to what else? Still listening to Palms, of course. A little bit of Spirit Box, a little bit of Magdalena Bay. My favorite Magdalena Bay song is Death and Romance. I think that song slaps. There's Birds of a Feather hit hard this year. That song was pretty good. Look, I'm not the biggest Billie Eilish fan. That song has 1.7 billion listens on here. Woo! Dude, that's, oh my gosh. That's her third most listened to song. I haven't always been a big Billie Eilish fan. In fact, that's the only song I have liked from her on Spotify. But I did like Birds of a Feather. I'm surprised that guest feature that she made with Charlie XCX didn't go harder on the listen chart. But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of interesting stuff this year. Strangers by Ethel Cain is a good one. Magic Johnson by Ian is a good one. Let's see what else. Oh, I've been re-listening to Voicemail by A Country Western. That's a good one. That one's not a very well-known song either, but it's good. Yeah, some good stuff this year. Not a whole lot of new artists, but like enough to where I feel like I've listened to different music this year. I'm surprised by the amount of Sleep Token in here, but honestly, I'm really not surprised because I went and saw them in concert this year. Timeless by The Weeknd is number 27 on my top artists, or on my top songs. This song came out September 27th. Spotify Wrapped stops tracking your activity after the 31st of October. In 1 month, I listened to it enough where it ended up as number 27 on my top songs. That's insane. But yeah, so far I'm making a new winter playlist for this year. I have Hurry Up I Miss You by Overscorn, A Bad Dream by Keen, because I started listening to that song again, Fever Dream by Sunbrella, and then Heart in the Pipes, because I started listening to that song again. But Fever Dream by Sunbrella is such a good song, man. Oh, they released an album. Oh, how nice. I didn't know they released an album. Cool. They have a slow and reverb version of Fever Dream as well. Sweet. But that's the music I've been listening to this year. A lot of good stuff. Okay, let's talk about the stuff that matters. And that's our boy, Luigi. Hello, Mario. They perp walked Luigi Mangione. Yeah, look at this. They perp walked him. Oh, I cannot play that. Jesus. Look, they perp walked him. I mean, this just goes so unbelievably hard. Bro's got the fresh fade. He's got the nice shave, the groomed eyebrows, whatnot. Someone tried to claim that the fade means that he's well protected by the inmates. It's a signal to the guards. I don't know how much I believe that. I think somebody just wanted to give him a fresh cut. He also seems to be in chronic pain, from what we've heard. So, yeah, they're perp walking him. I mean, you know, they just keep making this dude look cooler and cooler. I don't know how they keep doing it, but they keep making him look cooler and cooler. They also might be fucking their own case up. They charged him with terrorism. There was a shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. If that girl lived, if she didn't kill herself, there's no way they would have charged her with terrorism. No way. She had a whole manifesto and everything. She had so many reasons, racist reasons as well, to do what she did. And they would have never charged her with terrorism. This dude kills one CEO, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's terrorizing the CEOs. What? What are we talking about? They might be overplaying their hand a little bit. They're also charging him with first-degree murder in New York, which might also fail, because I think they're trying to give him the death penalty. Those charges might not stick either. I believe his lawyer is contesting it right now on whether or not he's being overcharged with crimes, which is interesting. I don't get this whole like freak show that they're doing where they're trying to charge him with everything under the sun. Terrorism? Seriously? I saw one lawyer say that he thinks they're trying to get good headlines out of it. Which, like, sure, I guess. It's totally not that the ruling class is afraid that we might gain class consciousness and rise up against the ruling class, but what do I know? Speaking of the ruling class, so Republican Corey Mills went on CNN and said that he hopes... Well, I'll just let his own words speak for himself.
I've been a registered Republican my entire life. However, I consider myself to be a constitutional conservative. I believe in the 7 Articles, 27 Amendments to our Constitution. I believe that I would like to abolish and repeal the 17th Amendment so we return more power to the states and individual rights. We should limit federal government power, and we should get back to what our founders and framers were intending. I think it's a very simple thing to understand.
Well, let me ask you, some people...
I've been a registered Republican.
How is also, I like that they're voting to avoid a shutdown, and the House is like just sitting back going, yeah, we'll do TV interviews. The Senate's like, we're trying to avoid a government shutdown. The House is like, yeah, I can go on CNN. I have time. This guy's so full of it. I really do hate this whole states' rights argument. States' rights is one of the biggest mistakes to ever happen to this country. And it's what halts progress. From, you know, people have always said, like, oh, if you give too much legislative control to the federal government, then, like, progressive ideas could be rolled back quicker than if we had states' rights. And it's like, yeah, they might be rolled back a little faster, but federal protections and laws for things that are progressive will advance far faster at a federal level than if we just leave it up to, you know, a few states in the country passing progressive legislation while the rest of the country falls behind and gets dragged along with these conservative, backwards, regressive policies. You know, I'm not for the idea that if Obergefell didn't exist, half the country still wouldn't be able to get married. if they were gay. Over half the country still wouldn't be able to marry who they want to marry. So, I'm not comfortable with that idea. I don't like that some states have this and other states don't. Everyone in this country should have the same collective experience. It shouldn't be the states deciding you get rights and then these other states deciding that you don't. It's not how it should work. But that's just the foundation of this. This guy wants to repeal the 17th Amendment. 17th Amendment is what gives you the power to vote for your senator, your representative in the Senate. He wants to return that power to the state legislators to select senators because he knows that Republicans rule most state legislatures and that they will always have a majority in the Senate despite Republicans not representing a majority of this country. Republicans are definitely the minority in this country. 100%. Progressive legislation has almost always above 60% support. Almost always. And yet the Senate and the House never represent that idea. They never represent it. And so, yes, if you repeal the 17th Amendment, you are essentially giving up your right to vote for your state senator and it's basically establishing a permanent Republican majority in the Senate in the way that our modern day politics operate. That's what this guy wants to do. It's always, they always hide behind the states' rights argument. It's always bullshit. It never makes any sense. They always hide behind like we give the states the power to do this, the states the power to do that. Who gives a fuck? We're the only country pretty much that has this issue. At least the only OECD nation that has this kind of problem. Every other country deals with all of their stuff on like a federal level with some local governments here and there. We have so many government hurdles to leap through. Why does no one ever question big government in the sense that the state government hinders progress everywhere? I could give a fuck less if we have a state government. I think I was even saying the other day, I wish we had a parliamentary system. I feel like a parliamentary system is way more functional and representative of what the population thinks than whatever the hell we got going on right now. The Senate, which is each state gets 2 senators regardless of population. The House, which guarantees a representative regardless of how low your population is. And it's so easily manipulatable with gerrymandering, secret gerrymandering, a way that it's hidden in a way where the courts usually can like squeak it by without it being noticed. Our system is so busted. Even the presidential election, we barely even pick the president. The Electoral College picks the president, which is so unbelievably stupid. It should be a direct democracy vote of who becomes the president. You get more popular votes, you become the president. And guess what? I can keep saying that because before when I was saying it, people would go, oh, you're just mad that the Democrats won the popular vote but lost the Electoral College. This time around, Trump won the popular vote and the Electoral College. I still hold my position that the popular vote should be what determines the president. Who wins the presidency? But to this guy's point, him saying that we should repeal the 17th Amendment, so dumb, so unbelievably stupid. And that's also a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope into them eventually going, oh, well, we should also repeal the 19th Amendment. We should repeal the women's right to vote, women's suffrage. Return that power to the states. Might as well repeal the Voting Rights Act from the 60s. Might as well do that. Return the states' power back to them. Let them bring back poll taxes. Who gives a fuck? That's basically what it all slides into. There's a reason why we have federal protections for these things. It's because the states tried it and they failed. There were states back then that had completely different restrictive voting laws from other states. The whole point of the Electoral College is rooted back in slavery. The whole point of the Electoral College is because slave owners wanted their slaves to count to some extent towards their state population, and it would buff their numbers so they would have more electoral votes. And the other reason of like they thought, you know, it would just be a quicker way of voting. That's bullshit. It's literally just so they could pad the numbers and have a higher chance of winning elections. So, you know, the states have tried it and they fucking suck at it. You know, it's ridiculous. This is a ridiculous idea. And this guy's a clown, and he's clearly like, I'm going to go on CNN and say something outrageous, and, you know, I'll get some pats on the back from my party and a little bit of media coverage, and then I'll disappear and nobody will ever think of my name ever again. God. But yeah. Oh no. Oh gosh. Wolf, this is funny. I just saw this tweet. People say that whenever Wolf Blitzer tries to enjoy himself, then some crazy world event happens. And look, last night, or 2 nights ago, he was at a Washington Wizards game. Someone brought up this. The last time he tried to enjoy himself, enjoying a Wolf Spritzer at the El Presidente restaurant here in DC. This was the day that Trump almost got assassinated. Or no, this was the day that Biden dropped out? No way. Wasn't he also busy doing something when Trump got shot at? Oh my gosh. Is that really the day that happened? Damn, it was. He was also doing something the day that Trump got shot at, though. I just think it's funny when Biden dropped out, like you could tell like he showed up to the studio and he was clearly blasted out his mind off those Wolf Spritzers. Just being like, man, why the fuck do I have to be here? They need to let this guy retire. Look at this man. This man was covering the Gulf War, and they got his ass still running the clock on CNN. Let him retire already. Look at how old this man is. You see how much he wants to rest? How old is Wolf Blitzer? He's 76! No! Dude, let him retire! He's from Germany? What the fuck? He was born in Germany. How does he not have an accent? That's actually kind of crazy. I didn't think... I guess he's still an American. Damn, dude! Bro is almost as old as Joe Biden. Dude, I think he's older than Donald Trump. No, he's not. He's 2 years younger than Donald Trump, but still, damn. Fuck. He's old as hell, man. He was born in 48. Let him retire. He's done enough. At least when he turns 80, let him retire. I would feel pretty awful for him dying while being a CNN anchor. That would be a little fucked. All right, moving on. Oh, this representative apparently has dementia. She's at a dementia care home. Representative Kay Granger. And she hasn't shown up to a congressional hearing since July. Dude, can we please have a fucking law where if you are diagnosed, and you already know they're going to dodge doctor's visits when this is passed. If you have clear signs of dementia or Alzheimer's or some kind of brain altering illness, and you've been diagnosed for this, you should be forced to leave Congress. You should be outed. They should force you to leave office, to vacate the seat. You know, you might be like, oh, it's a little extreme. No, I don't think it is. Because guess what? They leave office, the governor of their state just chooses a new one. Right now, you know, Mitch McConnell's been having all of his strokes and all that stuff, all these like crazy health events. I heard recently he fell or something. He should be forced to leave the Senate. He should be forced to vacate his Senate seat. Who does he represent? Mitch McConnell. Who does he represent? Oh. Kentucky, eh? Oh no. I might have accidentally created a Oh no, dude. Oh no, I might have accidentally created an issue that Republicans would hate. If Mitch McConnell was forced to vacate his seat right now, Andy Bashar would replace him with a Democrat. Oh no. Yeah, if you have some underlying mental condition, you should be forced to vacate the seat. And then you might ask, like, well, what about Biden, you know? Or like someone like Ronald Reagan, who is clearly showing signs of Alzheimer's towards the end of his second term. Someone like Biden, who it has just come out that Biden has been mentally deteriorating for the last 4 years and has basically been absent at the wheel for the last 3. According to his cabinet, they've been completely covering for him this whole time. You know, should he have been forced to vacate the seat? And for that, I say yes, absolutely. And there's actually an amendment for something like that, where the entire cabinet can work with Congress to vacate the presidency and have the vice president be acting president. So we have the foundation of something like that if they think the president cannot fulfill the duties of office. He should have been forced to step down within like a year of him taking office. That's what I think. I think if you're mentally unable to serve as a public official, you should be forced to vacate your seat. How that's determined, I don't know. I'm not a politician, so I'm not going to determine that. But I think that's how it should go. Now let's watch this CNN panel about how the Biden administration has just basically not been Biden. It's been everybody but Biden running the whole show the whole time.
This piece does show Biden having all of these sort of walls up.
Yeah.
And the walls kept getting higher and higher as the years went on.
This is the biggest scandal in America. And the level and volume of people who dedicated themselves to lying to everyone at home about this man's condition for 4 straight years up.
This is so rich. And like, I agree with what he's saying currently, but it's so rich that someone who works for CNN is saying this right now, when every day after that first presidential debate, we were talked down to, lectured about how the president lied to, even lied to Kamala Harris lied to us as well. Right after that debate, they interviewed her. They all lied to us, saying that he is, he's had a bad night. His mental fortitude is solid. You know, he's a dynamo in the Situation Room. Like, okay. Clearly he wasn't. So, and the media companies like CNN played a significant role in convincing us that he was fine. And now we have a senior political commentator saying that the White House lied.
Through this summer is breathtaking. It's a scandal of epic proportions. And it's a fair question to ask, who is running the country? Who has been running the country? And as I said earlier, if you're worried about Donald Trump's advisors having influence, for the last 4 years, apparently this president, duly elected, but this president was not capable of fulfilling the duties of the office. And his staff and the White House lied about it and kept it from the American people. It's an absolute scandal.
Look, I'll say two things. One is that I think Joe Biden, despite all this, had a very successful tenure. You may disagree, but I think on policy as a Democrat, he had a very successful.
Glaze
4
him
years.
up. We gotta glaze him. Wait, we gotta glaze him. Ay, ay, ay. Doing tricks on it, dude. I don't understand this. Why do we have to give him his flowers while we're discussing the fact that he literally was mentally declining throughout the entire presidency? Why do we have to give him his flowers? I don't get that. You know, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this little dog and pony show? Just admit the Biden administration should have outed him from office a long time ago. You know what I mean? This is just so ridiculous to me.
But there's a bigger problem here, and that is that I think Democrats are at the point where Republicans might have been right after the Bush election or after the Bush term was up, which is that I think Democrats are starting to mistrust their institutions.
Also,
And this goes back to
she's a Democratic strategist, by the way. She literally had a hand in this recent election loss.
a bipartisan effort to lie us into the Iraq War, not just by George Bush, but also by a lot of Democrats. It has to do with the fact that Barack Obama did not hold anybody accountable after the 2008 crisis, which also happened in George Bush's watch, but he became president. He never threw a hostage on the tarmac from Wall Street. You saw the rise of Bernie Sanders as a result of that, and saw a lot of institutional Democrats, me included, saying, no, 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 this is not the time. We have to stick with the institution. And I think you have a lot of Democrats now, me included, who are pretty sick of the institution and trusting people in the institution. And this is just one example, most recent example, I think, of people institutionally lying to the American people. And what you're ultimately going to see, and I don't have a problem saying,
She's literally a Democratic strategist. This was her job. I mean, she's not wrong. Like, you know, people have been losing faith in the Democrats since, you know, but I don't think Wall Street is the reason why Bernie Sanders, like, I don't think Obama's handling of Wall Street had much of a hand in why Bernie Sanders became popular. Bernie Sanders became popular because Bernie Sanders has a good message. He has popular policies. You know, it wasn't because of some like, oh, this big event happened. Like, yeah, the banks definitely played a role in his rhetoric, but overall, Bernie Sanders was just a popular figure. You know, he became popular of his own right, and people were pretty much ready to hand off the presidency to him after the Obama administration, but the DNC played a big role in stopping that from happening. And instead we ran Hillary Clinton, the most controversial Democrat to run in years at that point. You know, this is so much of this is easily explained that she's just glossing over. People losing faith in democratic institutions. The reason people are losing faith in it is because they aren't being given anything. You know, Biden promises student loan relief. We're getting like small trickling of that now in the 4th year of his presidency as a lame duck president. We're just now getting that. And barely. He's going back on most of it as we speak. You know, we never got a public option. They barely even mentioned, I don't even think they really did mention government ran healthcare during this entire Medicare for all. I don't even think they even mentioned that during this latest campaign. That's the reason why people don't trust these institutions. And now we're hearing that the thing we were right about this whole time, that Biden is mentally unwell, not fit for running the office. We're now hearing it straight from the White House that is indeed the case and has been the case since like the beginning months of his presidency. Like, good luck, Democrats. If you run another boring ass Democrat politician in 2028, you're going to lose. You're going to lose to like JD Vance or whoever the fuck runs next time around. Probably Trump again. He's probably going to repeal the amendment that limits his terms.
saying this as a Democrat, is that you're going to see a Tea Party version rise up in the Democratic Party based on the fact that this is yet another marker of people just not trusting our leaders anymore. And I'm sorry to say that, but I think we brought this on ourselves.
Yeah, I remember so distinctly when the Wall Street Journal's first story came out and the uproar about it among Democrats and the anger that they were making things up. In this story, They have multiple sitting members of Congress on the record talking about how they hardly ever heard from the president. They're
Who's
chairman
the one
of their
speaking? Is that the host, Abby Phillip? Don't tell me that's the host saying that. Your network was the one crying about it. Oh my God. Oh, one news publication goes, hey, we're pretty sure Biden is whacked out of his mind. He doesn't know what's going on. CNN is like, what? He's the most mentally fortified president in history. He has more mental fortitude than any president on record. Better than Obama. And like now you're smoking crack because there's no way that we beat Medicaid or whatever the fuck he said during the debate is better than Barack Obama. This is ridiculous.
respective committees, going all the way
Maybe
back.
I don't know if she specifically criticized the first articles that came out earlier this year. I don't know if she's one of the ones that did. I'm talking about CNN in general. You know, 'cause some of the hosts have their own different perspectives on things. She might have been one of the people that was on board with those articles. I don't know. So this isn't towards her specifically. It's the fact that she is the representative of CNN at this current moment in this video. But yeah, the classified documents case where Biden had documents in some facility in Delaware, and it came out that this guy, he wasn't supposed to reveal this apparently, because apparently the White House was pissed off that he did this. PMO! Apparently, the classified documents case where this guy said that, oh, a jury would never convict this guy because he comes across as a senile old man that has no idea what's going on or what he did wrong. When that came out, you know how many Democrats I remember being like, oh my God, I can't believe they would say that. Turns out they were right, man. Turns out they were right. All right. I have one feel-good story that won't really feel that good because the House is definitely not going to do it. I believe the bill hasn't gone to the House yet. Oh, never mind. Never mind. This is good news. It's going straight to the president right now. It already passed the House. The Social Security Fairness Act. It would eliminate two federal policies that would allow firefighters, postal workers, teachers, and other public officials with pensions to collect Social Security benefits. So teachers with full pensions will finally get their Social Security benefits that they have paid for their entire fucking lives. Yay! I skipped over the part where it says cops because I'm not cool with that. But firefighters, we love them. Postal workers, cool. Teachers, love them. We like postal workers. I'm just being a dick. Whatever other public officials fall under that, whatever. I'm not going to think about it too hard. But essentially, federal or just government workers in general that have pensions can now finally cash in on their full Social Security benefits. So it's good news. It's 3 million people that will now get their Social Security benefits. The legislation did pass Congress. The Senate voted 76-20, and Biden is expected to sign it. So pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty sure Rand Paul tried to propose some legislation that would up the retirement age to 70 years old, and only 3 senators voted yes and 93 voted no, because not the whole Senate shows up to work. I guess apparently 4 senators just don't have to show up to work, but it was like a 93-3 no. And Chuck Schumer, after the bill is called that it failed, Chuck Schumer goes, "Came close, guys, came close." Let me see if I can find the clip, because it's funny enough for me to show. God, dude, what a vote. What a vote. Where is it? Here it is. Why do they always do this to me?
Senator Rand Paul's amendment to raise Social Security retirement age to 70 fails by a vote of 3 to 93. Here we go.
On this vote, the yeas are 3, the nays are 93. The 60-vote threshold having not been achieved, the amendment is not agreed to.
Came close. My colleagues, Mr. President.
They're literally laughing about it. Rand Paul was acting like such a jackass during this session. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I love I think the Republicans are trying to spin it like it's a government entitlement. And like that line of rhetoric is bullshit anyways, but I love the idea that they're calling Social Security benefits an entitlement program when we all pay Social Security taxes on every fucking paycheck. It's our money. That's our money funding that program. Ours. How is that an entitlement program? It's our money. Anytime they talk about, oh, we're going to cut Social Security, we paid it. We are the ones paying for it. It's our money. What? If they ever repealed Social Security during my lifetime, if they ever repealed it, I want all of that money back. That's thousands of dollars I've paid into Social Security at this point. All of that money better come back to me. That's the biggest government refund I've ever seen in my life, if that happens. You will see a French Revolution style uproar. Like, my God, what a disaster that would be if they ever rolled back Social Security. So this is what I'll end the episode on. I have this idea. So you've all seen the Trump merch that says like 45 and 47 on it. I have a great idea. President Biden should resign. Right now. Kamala then becomes the 47th president. And the first woman, which would be interesting. She then picks whatever no-name VP she picks. She resigns. That unnamed VP becomes the 48th president. Then they select Biden as their vice president. And then they resign. Biden then becomes the 49th president. And now he becomes the second president to ever serve 2 non-consecutive terms. He then selects Harris as his VP and resigns again. She then steals the 50th president title away from Trump and becomes the 3rd president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Technically. Trump then takes office as the 45th and 51st president and the 4th president to serve non-consecutive terms. That would make... And you have to space them out. You have to give them time to make and order all of the merch with the new number on it. 45 and 48, 45 and 49, 45 and 50. And do all of that timed between those. That way, then they have to print out the 45 and 51 merch by the time Trump takes office. They don't have a whole lot of time. They have less than a month now to do this. I'm recording this on December 22nd. This comes out on December 27th. They have until January 20th on a Monday to do all of this. They have, by the time this comes out, 3 weeks and 3 days to do all of this. So y'all are on the clock. You got to go quick. This is my top tier presidential trolling idea that I think they should do. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching and listening. It's been a decent, tumultuous, but okay 2024. Next time we have a 2024, maybe it'll be better. It's almost 2015. Yeah, it's almost 2025. And
The next time I'm on here, it will be 2025. It'll be January 3rd. And yeah, Happy New Year. Hope you had a good holidays, a good Christmas. Have a good New Year. We made it to episode 100, which is a pretty good achievement. I never thought I would have made it to this. And when I make episode 101, it'll be the first time I've made a series that goes over the 100 mark. So it'll be a fun time. It'll be fun. So yeah, have a good year, or a good rest of your year, and check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/forbiddenlandpod. You can subscribe for $3 a month or $1 if you just want to support. You can subscribe for $10 or $15 a month if you want bonus content. And then there's a $100 support tier if you just want to give me $100. You know, I'm okay with that. I won't say no. I would never say no to $100. Check us out on any podcast streaming platform that you use. Apparently, we're fairly popular in France, which I didn't know that. 10% of my listeners come from France. That's pretty awesome. Oui. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'll see y'all next week. Next year. I'll see you guys next year. I haven't showered since last year. Did you know that? All right. Peace.